This is the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by DeSos Digital. Now, here's your host, Brandon Wirth.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by our great friends at DeSos Digital. It's yours truly, Brandon Wirth, joining you here on this lovely Saturday, August 17th. And if you're doing your math, folks, we are just under 2 weeks away from the beginning of the school year. Boy, what a time it is to be alive. It's going to be fast, it's going to be furious, and it's going to be one wild ride. It's basically the 11th Fast and Furious movie. Well, whenever that comes out. But we're going to have a great show on deck for you here today as we'll get into a little boys soccer preview. We'll go into last year's results, what we can maybe expect from this year. Obviously, a lot of these teams we don't know too much about yet as they're beginning practice here over the next 2 weeks before game action begins and the school year begins. And also to finish out the show in segment number 2, we'll go over a little bit of football radio news. Our lineups have been announced. Those that missed it, we're going to get it all covered for you. And let me tell you what, we have one of the best teams that we've had. Obviously, I'm biased since I'm a part of it, but I truly believe it's going to be one of the best football coverage seasons here at the station. And we'll tell you why, who's going to be involved, and what you can expect coming up this season. It's going to be a great show. And it's a great show already because of our great friends, all of our great local sports supporters, you, the fans, and a lot of our great sponsors as well, which obviously we're going to be getting into local sports season. So if you want to be a part of our sports coverage, you want to be a part of local high school athletics and all of our great media coverage with these programs, you can obviously be a sponsor. Contact the Big Rapids Media Network, 796-7000, and get your business and your logos on a lot of our stuff. And it's a great, great group of people helping make this possible. Those include, obviously, DeSos Digital as the primary sponsor. Also, our great other local sports supporters include Johnson's Automotive, Schuberg Insurance Agency, Quality Car and Truck Repair, Alter Care Big Rapids, Parasaddle Sales and Service of Big Rapids, Moto the Mecosta Osceola Transit Authority, and the Mecosta Osceola Career Center. Thank you for your support of local high school sports. All right, without further ado, let's get right into it. CSAA boys soccer season is on deck. A couple new coaches in this year's overall games, and it's going to be really fun to see a lot of these teams under new leadership. Last year's results, taking a look at the review of the spectacular 2023-2024 season, how great of a fight it was up top between Big Rapids and Tri-County. It was the Cardinals winning with an undefeated 6-0 record to win the CSAA title. But boy, it was certainly a fun season to watch. From the perspective of, it seems like soccer is getting more competitive in the CSAA, and that is certainly a good sign to see. I mean, you just have to look back and look how great of games there were this year, especially that Big Rapids at Tri-County game to decide the conference late in the season. Boy, what a big game that was for Tri-County. But I mean, you look also at the tournament, the CSAA tournament, and it was certainly Tri-County's to win, and you saw them really come back, and they obviously were able to get on top, beat Kent City, who upset Big Rapids in the semifinals, and it was a 1-0 thriller winner for Howard City Tri-County. So congrats to the Vikings and the Cardinals for great seasons in result. Tri-County was right behind at 5-1 in the regular season, but were the best team in the CSAA record-wise, 11-10 on the campaign. Reed City was actually right behind in second place with an overall record of 9-10. Big Rapids at 8-12, Grant at 6-11, Kent City at 6-12, Lakeview and Newaygo behind with one win each. But you definitely saw a really good season when it comes to the competition. Obviously, we're going to see some interesting things moving forward when it comes to the conference. We can see better play, but it's starting to get a little bit more competitive. You're seeing a lot of these games starting to get closer. We had a couple overtime games this year. Obviously, they're not necessarily all 2-1, 1-0 type of games. We're still seeing, some 3-1, 4-1, 4-2 type of score lines in some of these close games, but the quality of play, I think, is starting to get a little bit more level. I'd love to talk to the coaches and be able to get their perspective, which we will get back to coaches' interviews here as we get ready for the season. So be on the lookout for that, as well as rundown coverage for CSAA football here at the network. But overall in the conference standings, as mentioned, Big Rapids 6-0, Tri-County 5-1, Reed City, Grant, and Kent City all at 3-3 in conference play. Newaygo 1-5, and Newaygo 0-6 on the campaign. But really looking forward ahead to this next year. We saw a lot of these teams at the top. You look at Tri-County, who really did good in non-conference play. They found some good tournaments to play and faced a lot of good competition like Oak Ridge and Durand. And they played earlier on in the season, which is something that was very interesting looking at their schedule. Big Rapids had some tough non-conference competition when you looked at their schedule. Obviously at Williamston, Alma, those are really, really tough competitive tournaments playing really good prominent powerhouse schools like Lansing Christian, Elk Rapids, obviously playing teams like Alma who are hosting the tournament. Portland is always a really good program as well. So you're seeing a lot of overall very good play from a lot of these non-conference games for some of these CSAA schools, which is a really good thing to see. And especially looking into 24-25, I think we're going to see a very interesting shakeup maybe at the top. Tri-County's in a really good position, obviously bringing back some of their key contributors, not necessarily all of them, as many of the schools are kind of going through when it comes to graduation and a lot of those things. But when you look at Big Rapids, they're going to have a new coach this year. William Haydens will be the manager as former longtime head coach Justin Fox moving to Ferris State University as an assistant with the women's program. So that's going to be an interesting school to watch. Obviously, Big Rapids has been a team that has notoriously been near the top when it comes to CSAA play and overall play. When you look at all the trophies they have won, look at all of those type of things. And a lot of these schools have already played on a lot of these games. So you look at necessarily some of these teams actually playing in tournaments today, Big Rapids being one of them, playing in an Alma Panther tournament that was moved up earlier this year. So you see a lot of these schools that are starting to get some of these games in earlier, which is something that is kind of being forced upon, it feels like, with some sports, and then some sports are not able to get started right away. A lot of teams actually going to be playing next week in some games right before school starts, such as Reed City, Kent City. A lot of these conference games are going to be a little bit earlier in the year. So we're going to see how that plays out for a lot of these schools when it comes to these schedules, because it is super, super important looking ahead to a lot of this year's campaign. So it's going to be very interesting to watch. But kind of looking through the schedule for some of these schools, some games to be on the lookout for, some things to watch. I think especially starting with Big Rapids, the reigning regular season champ. Obviously, the Alma Panther Classic is going to be one. They're going to be playing some games that, especially when you look at last year, a couple opponents still might be able to kind of get back over with a couple of these home-and-home series where they're going to flip for some of these big games that they played on the road last year. They're going to play at home, such as a Lansing Christian team, as well as Grand Rapids North Point Christian. Those will be some interesting games. Or, excuse me, not Lansing Catholic. Midland Calvary Baptist was the one that I was refraining to. So you're looking at a couple of those games on the schedule. Obviously, they're going to be playing at Williamston again for the tournament. So those will be ones to watch for Big Rapids. But they're going to have a tough slate at the end of the year. Tri-County and Reed City, two of the teams that were second and third in regular season last year. Both of those games are going to be in the 16th and 18th of September. So really later on in the schedule, which will be very interesting to watch. It's going to make a very big intrigue. It's almost like the CSAA schedulers had something to do with that. Not to say anything more. But those are going to be very interesting games, certainly on the stretch for Tri-County. Obviously, they're playing in Oak Ridge right now over this weekend, and they're going to start with some big games on the road as well. They're going to be playing Greenville and I believe a pair, potentially just one. There's 2 times actually listed, but I believe they're only going to be playing one game. It'll just depend on what the other schedules are. They have some other winnable games as well. Going to go play Shelby, going to go play Hart, so those are going to be some ones down the stretch for them that can pick up some W's potentially, of course. We don't know as much about these teams, and I don't know as much personally about these teams. I wish I did. But you look a lot of their programs, a lot of them athletic, and Coach Armstrong has certainly done a great job of getting his athletes in the right positions to be able to play some good soccer near the end of the year. One thing to additionally note, this year will be an 8-team conference as opposed to it was 7 last year. Welcome back Chippewa Hills into the boys soccer league. So that's really fun to see. We'll have another team in the conference, which will obviously shake up the schedule just a little bit as far as scheduling is concerned. But it'll be interesting to see how they do after not being able to field a team last year due to low participation. So we hope to see them. We hope to see good play from Chip Hills, and welcome back, guys. It's great to have all the Warriors back in. When it comes to Reed City, really fun this year. they're going to be playing Glen Lake in a lot of these sports. They're on the slate, I believe, week 4 for football, which we mentioned that in kind of the early season preview, which you can find wherever you get this show. They're going to be playing the Lakers, I believe, on the 26th of August. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be up in Maple City, up there near Glen Lake. So that's going to be up there at the home of the Lakers. They're also going to be playing Midland Calvary Baptist, a team that is scheduled the CSAA notoriously non-conference. It's a good program, so that'll be fun to watch as well. Looking at some other notable games for some other notable teams, Kent City actually played a game earlier on yesterday as we're recording the show. They lost to Potter's House 1-0 in a very, very tight affair. They'll also be playing some couple non-conference games. They're going to be playing Ravenna, an area team that has been in the region, that graphical region for quite some time. That is notoriously an athletic school. Wyoming Kelloggsville as well. That's one that's going to be on there as well. So they're going to see Byron Center Zion Christian as well. That's going to be fun to see for them. Lakeview looking to bounce back after last year as well, and they're going to look for some wins in this schedule as well, playing teams like Crossroads Charter Academy. They're looking at Buckley as a good tournament to get some wins there. They're playing Ithaca earlier on in the year. We'll see how they fare against them, and as well at the end of the year. So you're going to see some development potential from Lakeview. That's a team, when you looked at last year, you can certainly see that there is some prominence. There is some good play that can be played, but they just really have a struggle to get out and get on it early, and they let teams pile it on early on. So hopefully we see an improved Lakeview team this year, as well as both M37 teams looking to advance forward. Grant had a really good campaign last year. They played some really tough teams and got some quality games, just not necessarily some of the results they wanted, where you've seen them in high-scoring games, such as the Tri-County game, 6-3. They struggled in non-conference. That's something that they're going to have to look to improve this time around, which some of these games on the schedule, some of them will be tough, but some of them can be winnable. They're playing Tri-Unity Christian once again. They hope to get a win there. Fremont, which is going to be the Newaygo County Championship, which will be very fun to see. You got Oak Ridge at the end of the year. Kennewa Hills was a team that beat them last year. We'll see how they do against them. As well, on the other side of M37, you got Newaygo, who's a team that got a win early on this season against the Stags of Kingsley. So that's a really good sign for them. Starting off the year on a high note, not necessarily going to go out and just say that they matched the win record from last year, because that would be mean. But that's certainly going to be a good thing for them moving forward. We're excited to see what Chip Hills can do around the rest of the year. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got the high school football radio segment. We're talking about what you can expect this year, an announcement of the teams right here on News Radio WBRN.
At Dazos Digital, we're your guides through the digital wilderness, helping small businesses thrive amidst the complexities of the online world. Just like a forest ecosystem, the digital landscape can be vast and daunting, but with our expertise, we navigate through it, crafting tailored marketing and advertising strategies that resonate with your audience and drive tangible results. With a focus on precision and efficiency, we empower businesses to harness their full potential on digital platforms, ensuring growth and success in today's competitive market. Want more? Find out more at DazosDigital.com.
Welcome back here to the West Michigan Sports Show, presented by our great friends at Dazos Digital, real business solutions in the digital world. Find out more at DazosDigital.com. Getting into the football radio media team announcements. This is very exciting for myself and JT, who will be covering Reed City and Big Rapids respectively for this upcoming football campaign. It's going to be fun. I can't tell you guys how excited I am having these teams together. There was a lot of tough decisions that we needed to make. There was a lot of good candidates for the positions, and I mean, it's going to be very, very exciting to have these teams together. So we'll kind of go through them, get to know a little bit about them, as well as what you can expect media coverage-wise here this season, which I have to make the announcement again. I said it earlier on in the first segment for those listening on the airwaves. If you're listening to the podcast, I'll make it quick so you don't have to hear it again twice. If you are a business that wants to be a part of our football coverage, hit us up, 796-7000 here, or you can email some of our sales reps at the station to get yourself and your business with our football coverage and show local sports all the love and support that you have with your organization or business. But we'll get into Big Rapids and we'll follow up with Reed City. JT Scarpelli will be returning once again. It'll be year number 10 on the microphone. It'll be fourth straight season with the Cardinal High School team on the mic as the main play-by-play man. I mean, obviously, obviously he has a great perspective as the baseball coach for that program. He's around a lot of the players, he's around a lot of the coaches and the sports community, and so he does a great job of bringing in the perspective of a lot of the community and a lot of the Cardinal fans out there. As an alum himself, Coach Scarp is going to bring all the heat that you would like on the broadcast, and that's going to be really fun. This will be obviously his fourth season, as we mentioned, but I think especially for those that don't know JT is a guy that is very fan considerate, and so when he tailors his broadcast, he really does a great job of relating to the community, as I just mentioned, but relating to the fans watching the game. If you listen in the stands, which I encourage some people to do, even if you're at the game, you can listen to us with both our Big Country WWBR mobile app and for Reed City, the WYBR Y102 mobile app, and you can listen to the games while you're watching them. It's like you're on TV and watching at home. It's super cool. But his favorite broadcaster is Vin Scully, who is a guy that can paint a picture like no other, and he can storytell as good as the greats, if not he is the greatest. So in that perspective, he is one of the best. And so that's somebody that he looks up to, so you can kind of get that perspective in. But with over 18 years of playing and coaching experience at high school and college levels combined, that's so much knowledge, and he brings that into the broadcast very, very well. His expectation is that with this season, there's going to be a lot to look at when it comes to this team. Obviously, we mentioned a record-setting season last year, district championship, conference championship for this Cardinal team. They did lose some key contributors, including Riley Venix, Philip Wilbur, as well as Caleb Dubowski. Those kind of the three guys that really made an impact. But younger guys are going to have an opportunity, and they're going to have a lot of expectations this year to step into the spotlight, as JT quoted in the article, which you can find all of this information as well at WBRN.com. BigRapidsDailyNews.com for more information. His color guy this year, back for year number 2. He was there a year ago, and he'll be back this year in 2024. It's Jason Kostecki, who is a basketball coach at the Big Rapids High School. He was the JV coach last year. He really knows these kids as well as JT. We're really, really well being around him as a coach, being around a lot of the coaches, the community and the sports community, as he coaches a lot of the youth levels as well. He has experience in soccer and experience with baseball. He's a good coach all the way around, and he knows his stuff, and he's definitely a very exciting guy to bring on. He brings a very good perspective to pair with JT, and so that's very fun. It is very exciting for sure. He's a very casual guy when it comes to the way that he calls games. That's kind of the way that he described it to me after hearing a couple of his games back, but he's a guy that adds humor. He put that in the article, and I'm glad he did, because he is a guy that likes to keep it light. Him and JT do a good job of being able to crack a joke every now and then, so you guys are able to really kind of relate, have a laugh, and have a good experience listening to the game. Some of his favorite listed broadcasters: Jim Nantz, Harry Carey as well, one throwback name that many know who Harry is. He can call a game very, very well as well. So very good guy, different of a style compared to some of the modern guys you look at, like Mike Tirico, looking at some of those other guys. They're a little different style, but he's a guy that's very relatable and very fun on the broadcast as well. And he's really looking forward to Friday Night Lights, as he was telling me, just being able to be back in the stadium, be back with the fans, have the headset on. We can't describe it to a lot of the fans what it's like to be on the headset. It's just different. As a broadcaster, it is just different, and he's really excited to do that. So Jason Kostecki, JT Scarpelli will be the leaders for Big Country this year for Big Rapids Cardinal football, which is, I believe, we counted this right, it is going to be the 27th season that Big Rapids will be on the airwaves for Big Country 100.9. How crazy is that? Maybe it's 26, maybe it's 27. We're trying to, of course, do the math with the years, maybe like you guys are doing at home. So it's going to be really fun to have that continuous coverage on Big Country 100.9. Also, pregame coverage for those guys will be 6:35 on game nights. So it'll be Friday night or an occasional Thursday night. So we are definitely going to be excited to get them a pregame show. And we're also going to have the rundown on Big Country's YouTube channel, which you can find wherever that you get your videos on YouTube. You can subscribe, Big Country 100.9. It'll be myself, JT Scarpelli, and plenty of guests and coaches on weekly once we get into the season. All right, let's get into Reed City. It will be myself once again here for my second season. Can't be more excited to call Coyote football. It means a lot to me. It's been a part of my life ever since my high school years. Obviously not as a player, but definitely having a lot of friends in the program, especially when I went to school, being friends with a lot of the coaches, even a family member as a coaching staff. It's just very fun. It's a great connection for me, and I know how much football means to this town of Reed City. And I think it's going to be fun to be able to provide that once again for my alma mater. It means the world to do that. And I'm really excited to be able to bring my experience, my very analytical perspective, but also fan-considerate perspective and bring that all together. And I think this team, Reed City, is one that everybody's going to be watching out for after the improvement they made last year, comparison to what the media was calling a potential drop-off from last year's team. And especially after the slow start, they got it back together. This team is deep, guys. This team has a lot of depth. They're looking at the top-end guys, really looking to get those guys getting in camp. This offensive and defensive line is going to be a one to watch. It is going to be the unit to keep monoculars on each and every game because they are locked in. They are ready. They've put in the work over the offseason. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with a brand new backfield basically behind them. So it's going to be really fun to watch. I think they're going to be slept on, Reed City, but I'm always going to be holding back my Coyotes 100%. Joining me this year, as many know, I went solo last year due to scheduling, still being an athlete, not getting to as many Friday nights and a lot of moving parts. This year, I'm going to be there the whole year. I can't be more excited to call every game for you, and it's going to be amazing to have this guy on my side, my partner that is going to be on the mic this year. Mark Holcomb, known as Coach Hulk, for the girls varsity basketball program. He's an assistant coach. He brings a great perspective, and not only that, he's a former broadcaster himself at the college level. He had done so for many years, 12 years in college football. He's also done, I believe, 6 to 8 years of college basketball combined from all of his experiences thrown together. He's a great guy, and he knows his football. Just being able to chat with him about the team, and he's watched a couple games last year, and he really got to show me what he knows, and I really, really like the analytical perspective that he has as well, but also very complimentary to, I think, what we can do as a dynamic duo. Complements extremely well, getting both the analytical perspective and the detailed perspective as well as the broadening, helping the fans understand the game at a simple level, and just bringing just a good overall experience, because we're going to try to crack some jokes too to keep you involved and keep you on your toes a little bit as a broadcast goes together. But especially some of his favorite broadcasters, John Madden was one that he told me he looks up to a lot, and I can see it from the way that he analyzes the game. It's almost, I want to give Mark a telestrator if we had a TV set, but we don't. But he's a very good descriptor. He's great at seeing it and calling it as he sees it. So that's a good perspective. I didn't even mention my favorite broadcasters. For those interested, I'll throw out the little fun fact here. Bob Wischusen and Kevin Harlan are my top two guys. Also love a lot of what Ian Eagle does. Mike Tirico is a very versatile guy, which I appreciate as well. But I've received some feedback. I've had some people come up to me literally over the last 24 hours, whether it's in person, walking around town at the Crossroads Festival, as well as just being able to be getting some messages in my inbox. And everybody's excited. A lot of those that know Mark know him. He's a great guy. He's a really, really big sports fan. And I think we're going to do some great things this year when it comes to just the overall perspective. Bringing a lot of the coaches and community involved is going to be really fun. For both broadcasts as well, got to throw out my main man, Joe Nagy. He's going to be slated as our board analyst, studio analyst for this year. He'll be joining us on Friday nights as well. Score reports as well as some other information he'll be bringing along live on each of our shows and helping them run and make possible. So really appreciate all the work that he's done. And especially he's a big fan. We've been a part of the Rundown for many years. He loves this local sports community, and he really does love the CSAA conference as a former player himself in it, as well as now a former fan and media member within it. He really does love the CSAA, a Tri-County grad, and always loves to bring his Vikings in as much as possible, who are going to be a very fun team to watch this year. So Reed City College football, Y102, 102.3 FM as well. Those games will start at 6:30 p.m. with pregame coverage, as well as we'll get some more. We got some things in the works, guys, that I can't actually say as of yet. They're not finalized, but we're working on some things to help with the experience for both of our broadcasts and expanding them. I can't give you the details on what, but if it does go through and you guys are fans of listening and watching the games, you are really going to love the things we have in store. We can't announce them just yet. I hate really teasing a lot of this stuff, as I like to do all the time, but just be on the lookout. We'll release that stuff as well as finalize stuff for the Rundown, which will be starting up, I believe, this coming week, if not for sure the following week, with week 1 game picks and so on and so forth. Big thanks to all of you for listening in on the West Michigan Sports Show. Get this show wherever you get your sports podcasts, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, WBRN.com, as well as you can check out the Rundown, Big Country 100.9 on YouTube, which we'll be getting to every week here on out for high school football in-depth analysis. But if you want all the sports, all the recap of scores, and all of those great interviews with coaches, players, and support staff, you know where to find the West Michigan Sports Show as you're listening to us right now. And I truly do appreciate you guys. We're looking to take the next step forward, and we're really looking forward to having you guys be involved with it. Thank you guys. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow. Stay tuned. Same time next week with the Local Sports Hour. You can also check out Behind the Bulldogs at 3 o'clock before this show begins. If you get here at 3:30, come join us 30 minutes ahead of time and get the know on Fair State sports and all the fun stuff. And maybe national championship campaigns coming up for a couple of the sports here in the fall. Brandon Wirth signing off here on the West Michigan Sports Show. We'll see you back here in 7 days or less here on News Radio WBRN.